Hey there, and welcome back to our Elden Ring lore playthrough. Today we're going to be using our Pureblood Knight's emblem so we can seek an audience with the Luminary Mohg, who yet slumbers beside the divinity. This is not normally when I would use the thing. I would normally wait a little bit longer, like do some more things in the game and then come back and do it. But there's a couple reasons we're doing it now. One, like the sequence of our game, like a story, it is actually lining up pretty nicely for it, because like what did we just do, right? We were just down in the sewers. We fought Mohg the Omen down in there after defeating, like somewhere along the line, Esgar the Blood Priest, right? And we defeated him, right? But it was kind of weird because he didn't say anything. He's Mohg the Omen, not the Lord of Blood. It doesn't say Mohgwyn or anything like that, right? And he supposedly slumbers beside the divinity. There was no divinity down there. We're in his sewers, for God's sake, right? And I mean, and that's the thing. It's like we find a shackle that says it's Mohg's shackle. So we knew he was an omen. We find him, he's an omen. But the shackle is broken, much like Margit's, right? It doesn't have the same power it did. It can briefly hold him to the earth, right? And just like Margit, like Mohg is free. And if he's trying to make some new glorious dynasty, why is he still in the sewers then? And then even as we defeat him, he like fades out. And that's not even the only piece of evidence that like something's not right there. Something's amiss, right? When we talk to Gideon talks about how there's like these unlocated demigods. Among them is this Lord of Blood, which we know is Mohg or Mohgwyn, however you want to call him, right? So he should have some piece of Elden Ring or something, some great rune. He didn't drop anything. Didn't have some divinity saying next to him. He is in the sewers, not anywhere amazing, immaculate, doesn't even say a word to us. He's just making noises. It's just not right, you know? So it makes sense for us to now try and do this and see what's going on. If we were being a true, like, pure blood knight, we would totally just keep waiting and waiting and waiting for the right moment to use it, right? Because that's how we would be role-playing it. But like our guy's kind of loose and doing whatever he wants whenever he wants and just talking to whoever he wants to, right? So that's how we're going to play it. Now the other part of it is, unfortunately, I'm obviously not going to be done with the base game before the DLC comes out. I mean, I could be done. Like if I were to just play the game and go, I would be done. I would have been done weeks ago, right? Like forever and ever and ever ago. But we've been taking our time. Not going to be done before the DLC. However, we do need to have him down in order to go into the DLC. So this is actually pretty nice where we can, you know, with our storyline, go into there, maybe beat him, and then be able to enter the DLC with this character, which is something I would like to do. I would like to play it with this character, right? Now, we are level 119 right now, which isn't not awful for the area. It can be done. We have some fairly strong upgraded items now, like our rapier thing is plus 19, or not plus 19, plus 9 out of 10. So like we have some strong things. We can do it. It just might be a little ugly. So let's get to it. Let's do it. Go to the audience grounds. There's that symbol. There it is. Mohgwyn Palace. And look immediately. What does it look like? Ancient dynasty runes that we see underground. We see the false night sky. We open up the map. Where are we? Way out here. We see this place. It's that weird Parthenon area. We can see the burning rocks and stuff. Yeah, this is it. And now there's, I mean, grounds over that way. Grounds up here. Even on the ground, look how there's just blood everywhere. Now now we have a choice here, right? We can run around this way and go explore and see what's going there. We could also just kind of go up here. We're going to start by going up here real quick. Oh, okay. More horse. Mohgwyn Dynasty Mausoleum. Hey, the palace. Mohgwyn Palace map. In the lightless depths lies the grave of an ancient civilization. It is here Mohg, the Lord of Blood, is building his palace to be the seat of his coming dynasty named Mohgwyn, and whatever nightmares that may bring. Alright, here we are. So we're over here. That's where the whole Parthenon-looking thing, mausoleum, I guess, kind of goes into the underground maybe, and then we'll pop up somewhere in there. And there's all this section that looks like a lake of blood. We're going to check out the lake of blood first. I feel like that's, you know, the first section you would check out before you, like, move up to what is potentially the end of the level. And right there, we see a figure We can recognize the shape of it, and it's like one of those little dumpy albinarchs, a second generation. But it sees coloration, he's all red, and even there's some slight jar Barbie looking things poking up around his head. Let's take a look. Get a little bit closer. Hey, bud. Oh, he's blowing it like a horn, but look on his head. He's got Barbie spiked growths coming off, right? And what is it like? The omen, right? Now, why would he be like that, right? Well, one, he's red, which is not right for them. They should be this like pale color or silver, something along those lines. And even then, his blood is still kind of silverish, but he is red. Only he's got these omen horns he's afflicted by. So let's say that somehow Mohg is like spreading his like omen curse, and you know that's like kind of not unheard of, because what is a dung eater trying to do? He's got these seedbed curses that are like somehow like cursing other people, preventing their souls from returning to the Erd tree and letting them live these like cursed lives. Look at these spirit things getting summoned up. Yeah, you know, it really messes them up. Yeah, so maybe, you know, somehow oh jeez, see them sounding that horn. See that red light too. It's actually just like the mariners do. The same kind of coloration spell summony type thing. Wow, that was so much damage. Brutal. Yeah, it's the same thing they do, and they're blowing on those things like their horns, sounding the call. I mean, that's actually literally what the mariners do as well, right? They bring up their oars, which are basically, you know, big horns, and then sound that call. So how did they pick it up? Like, that's something I'm kind of curious about. It is interesting that, like, they can get injured by their own, like, skeletal guys, right? They're not immune to their own summons. So maybe they don't have, like, a full control of it. It's just kind of a primal thing. But why would the albinarch show up here, right? I mean, they're kind of mistreated, right? Like many of the other, I guess you might say, like, kind of minorities of the Lanes Between. So maybe this kind of offered some sort of opportunity for them to, like, make things better or have a life that they kind of like worth living in a way, right? There could be a pureblood knight, you know, a member of some new dynasty where they wouldn't be mistreated, right? And now we've got literal pools of blood, and there we've got like gibbets, various nobles and stuff hanging from it. You can see some more of like traditional looking, well, not even traditional looking, but you know, wearing the various garbs that the albinarchs are doing with their ripple halberds and stuff. The dude looks like he's standing over it. And look on the watery ground right there. There's bodies and those like nasty tumory growths like we saw at the Rose Church, like that big mass of them. A lot of albinarchs in here. Hi guys, don't mind me. That's a big clump there. Smithing stones, those are always good. Now we do not need to sit. Like sitting and trying to fight all of this stuff is just a straight recipe for disaster. Like there's a reason we can run around with our horse and just go and collect all the items, right? And get spells like Swarm of Flies, a blood oath incantation shared from the Lord of Blood's power. It releases a swarm of blood flies before the caster to assault foes. The vile swarm deals damage and builds up onset of blood loss. It can be cast in motion. The new palace of the Lord of Blood lies in a swamp of festering blood, and these flies are said to spawn from excrement in that land, which is absolutely disgusting. Like they're coming from literal shit. A hero's rune, very nice. There's a beetle here. You can see little heads of freaking albinarchs poking out. We need to get this thing though. 1, 2. I'm probably gonna get swarmed here in a second. Oh no. Oh no. 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 One more hit. Thank you. All right, we're good. Doesn't matter now. Blood tax. Look at him cartwheeling around. And see how he sprouted all these spikes? He's still doing a cold breath. Yeah, they just sprouted huge old blood spikes. There's a whole new technique. So they're like weaponizing their own like cursed blood, which is exactly what Mohg seems to do, and what he teaches people to do with the blood flame talons and stuff, spreading blood that inflames and explodes. But now we get into a geysery, bloody lake, and look at those nasty birds. It's like the giant crows of Caelid. Blood-tainted excrement. Clarifying boluses. Oh, invaded by nameless white mask. There he is. It's like Vare, right? Because he's got a white mask. And even something else had mentioned, you know, don't trust the surgeons in white or something like that, right? That's a blood tax ability. Oh yeah, see, I've got blood loss too, bud, and I've got poison on right now, so enjoy that. He's just kind of sitting there and taking the hit, so that's the fly incantation. Oh no. Ah, nice blood loss there. So why are they invading us right now, right? Why are they trying to stop us? Because we came here too early. We should not be here right now. We should have waited. We were supposed to hold tight until the divinity was ready, when they awoke and the dynasty was upon us. And then we could seek the audience and he would like welcome his pure blood knights. So do you think like all these different white masks were like agents of his sent out to just like find new recruits? Then what about the nobles, right? And then really, like, what is the whole purpose of his thing? I mean, it's to make a new dynasty, right? And is it just for his own power? And like, you know, like it's a little unclear, right? I mean, I guess it's kind of like the you know, Volcano Manor, where they're looking to overthrow the old order as well. But they like really lay it out and they're like, yeah, they're jerks. Why is he doing? He's just steeping the place in blood. It's like he's doing it just because, right? I like how even in this awful place, a golden seed found its way. Blood-tainted excrement. The bloody excrement of a carnivorous beast, like these birds, I'm assuming. Found in the land of the new dynasty. Mixed inside was half-digested flesh or dense colonies of tiny eggs of unknown but assuredly revolting origin. Yeah, it seems overall just disgusting. Hey, bird. Oh, look how twisted his beak and stuff is. Like, I mean, they were already pretty gnarly looking, right? But like, now they're like extra. Like, just big tumor look things on him. Beak is all out of shape. And, oh, he's about to go like berserk. There it is. Oh, he's still alive. Poison it. Poison. Get him, poison. There it goes. Look at all the bodies here of other gray-skinned albinarics. Did they not make the cut? Maybe they were offered up as sacrifices? These geysers of blood are a lot like, kind of like Morgott, right? When we fought him and he went in the second phase where his cursed blood was, like, released, some of his slams would relieve these, like, erupting geysers of blood. And so it's kind of looking the same way to me. Maybe we'll keep him in there. Go back in there. Go back in the geyser. Like that they just, like, dude, he really just kind of stands there and he takes it. Like, I don't have to do, like, any actual finesse that I would need to do in regular PvP, you know what I mean? What could be over here at the end of the swamp? A Nomadic Warrior's Cookbook 24. So we can make a swarm pot and a roped fly pot. Bet it uses that nasty stuff we've been getting. Swarm pot, throw it to release a swarm of flies. Cocktail of effluences sealed inside. Ew, look at it, it's just covered in bugs. Set a swarm of blood flies upon them. The vile swarm deals damage and builds up onset of blood loss. The cacophony of their wings assail the sanity of berserkers. The maggots found in waste feed on blood and turn into vicious flies that are pitiably short-lived. Another nameless white mask. Oh, there he is. This is like the third one I fought now. Kind of wish I had shield crash. I miss it in a way. Shield bash has been kind of nice because it's just a quick like block and then that's it. And you hit them. No strings attached past that. Like, that's just all there is to it. You know, just boom. It's also better to like actually intersect attacks, like if they start trying to hit me. And then yeah, now we just let them poison out to death. Hey, white mask war surgeon stuff. Bloodstained, faintly grinning white mask worn by war surgeons who are effectively mercy killers. The Lord of Blood's curse enlivens and livens the wearer when bloodletting occurs, slightly raises attack power when there is blood loss nearby. Matches with the Lord of Blood's exaltation, which also grants attack power when blood loss occurs. The War Surgeon gown. Oh, it's altered. Bloodstained white gown of war surgeons, effectively mercy killers. Of the surgeons that were abducted by the Lord of Blood, none were able to tame the accursed blood. None but Vare, that is. though he was an exception. Interesting. So do you think, like, Mohg, he abducted all these war surgeons who were, like, mercy killers, essentially, right? And then maybe infused them with his cursed blood? Because I think that's what's happened with all these Albinarics, right? And ideally, they would have been able to control it, maybe gain some measure of power, control, right? And none of them could do it. The only one was Vare, but he was the exception. Which explains why he was the one, like, talking. Why we didn't see any of these other, like, white masks around, right? A Haley Drake talisman, +2. Look way down there. You can even see further, like, extension. Oh, it said that one over there. Oh, is that where we saw the, there was that Crucible Knight, right? Is that where he was at? And he was looking up here? Why would the Crucible Knight be looking up here? Like, what kind of interest does he have with this place? It's freaking awful. Awful place. All right, so we're good on Blood Swamp. We don't need to do anything else there. What I would really like is an actual Site of Grace right here. Perfect, because we need to level up. That'll put us at 120, which is nice, and then we'll push forward into the actual Mausoleum. Also swapped my Shield Bash to Shield Crash. We also have another, we got our last charge of the flasks, and now we have the full 14. At least I'm pretty sure it maxes at 14. Look at all these putrid corpses. I would say they're all, like, drained of blood, but they got these nasty pustules going. The one that went, like, sprinting by and, like, filling up, like the fire ones, they explode in a cloud of blood that inflicts blood loss. So if we watch it, see how it actually got us a little bit there too? Like, even before they actually explode. And we found a Newman rune. So it was like the Newmans, like, resided down here, right? Because, like, I mean, there was no ant there. But it seems to me like they might have been some of the original residents. Maybe they were part of this, like, super ancient, civilization. Look at this massive thing. And it's just like the other, like, small blobs that we often, like, deal with. But just a big, nasty thing. Do you think the other, like, big kind of cancery growths would, like, turn into something like this? Or is this, like, an anomaly? This is a little path right here. Pardon me. Look at all of them. Look at them, like, holding up their arms in worship and supplication up towards the top. Where I can assume the Lord of Blood is waiting. Slumbering next to the divinity. And who is the divinity? Like, we're still wondering on that, right? Gotta be a demigod or god of some kind, right? Divinity. But it talks about his cocoon. And so it has to be male, too, because it says his cocoon. And the Lord of Blood exaltation talks about, let out the blood and try and slake my consort's cocoons, whatever. Read it. Let's read it instead of just rambling. Render up your offerings of blood to your Lord. Drench my consort's chamber. Slake his cocoon's thirst. His awakening shall herald the dawn of our dynasty. So, like, in order for him to wake up, right? If he's in a cocoon, like, what are cocoons associated with? Change, metamorphosis, bugs, particularly like butterflies and stuff. So, like, does it need blood in order for him to wake up? And so we have to keep, like, doing these invasions and spilling blood to awaken the divinity. Well, we could just summon our bird now. We're gonna totally do that, because why wouldn't we have our guy hanging out with us? Look at that, a sanguine noble striking up from a puddle of blood. Look how he leaves a puddle on the ground, and anytime we, like, stand in it, it's going to actually increase our blood gauge. Like, we can roll the damage too, but I didn't do a very good job there. He's already poisoned though, so that's good for us. Owie, he's doing a lot of the blood loss. That was a lot of damage. I felt like that blood loss did a lot of damage. We should have been fine. We should have won that. Oh, a Stake of America? Yeah, sure. Blood Rose. Do you think these nobles were, like, the wandering nobles that, because we saw a ghost and he was trying to get, he wanted Mohg to accept him. So do you think it was something like that? A Lord's Rune. And so he does accept some of them, abducts them maybe, and then that's... Why are you freaking out, bird? Did you hear that, though? Hear the music? I know I heard it just a moment ago. It was a merchant. Now, this is like a mausoleum. So, I mean, it's calling it the Mohg Mausoleum, but is it actually his mausoleum, or was it a mausoleum before? You know what I mean? And he, you know, he just started squatting. Great Ghost Glovewort. Oh, man, our bird's going to spend ages trying to fight all these things. All right. So much for summoning him. Though, I guess we can get FP back for slaying all these guys. And they're pretty weak to blood loss. Oh, another Side of Grace. Ooh, and a red summon sign. Okay. Now, we definitely did not get... Like, I hopped up a couple things, and I think that, like, let me skip a bunch of stuff somehow. But the summon sign, we're going to check that out. White Mask Vare. All right, Vare. Let's see what you got going on, dude. Where you at, Vare? Come on out. I'm here for you. There he is.
You seek violence, heedless of my warning.
Oh, he's got a fire spell.
Raised to a knight of the dynasty.
Yeah.
Pain to the very depths of my being. I'll ensure you regret this, my lambkin.
My lambkin. Bah.
Miserable death.
Whatever you say, bro. Not doing so well, bud. Estus punish. Uh-oh. Oh, that did... Okay, there's a little bit of damage. I was gonna say, I was like, that was like no damage. Oh, now he's enchanting it with the Blood Flame Blade. He's going full power now. He's entered phase 2. Burning bouquet of roses. Oh, I can heal too. Ooh, bummer, dude. You might be done. Freaking broke a tombstone on you. But he's some kind of highborn dude. You were a freaking doctor abducted by some weirdo and got a bad blood transfusion. Get out of here. Oh, there you are too. Look at you.
Oh, Luminary Mohg, please grant the strength you promised. I have given everything. Please, my lord.
Oh.
Please answer me, Luminary Mohg. Bless the Mohg dynasty with love.
Dude, what a piece of work. I mean, that just shows, like, where this whole, like, grouping is going to go. Like, he doesn't actually care about his subjects, right? He's right there begging for strength, like, literally underneath him. Doesn't care. He does not care. He's interested in himself. And that dude, and still, though, at the very end, he tries to bless the dynasty with love. Like, what? A steel mace resembling a charming bouquet of roses. Each petal has a sharpened edge, leaving the roses perpetually colored with blood. This weapon reflects White Mask Vare's manner of speech rather well, enticing in its splendor, but full of deadly consequence. And it's got the blood tax thing. It's granted by the Lord of Blood. Twist to build power, then unleash a flurry of thrusts that rob the target of both their blood and their HP. Yeah. It's got decent blood loss buildup, actually. Pretty light. It's not a good weapon, though. I've seen some people try and use it before. It's kind of weak. Needs a little more damage to it or something. I don't know. All right, let's keep looking through here. We heard a merchant playing a musical instrument. He's in here somewhere. We're going to find that poor fellow. There's the music. Okay. Oh, he's right here, man.
Oh, gee. You here as a customer?
Yeah, I'm here as a customer. Imprisoned merchant. Oh, so he's imprisoned. That poor dude. All right. Rune arcs, daunting boluses, bloody fingers, blood rose, stone sword keys are nice. Lost ash war, dwelling arrows, bird bolts. Covered with thorns, one of the most horrific weapons used in the Shattering, does blood loss, difficult to remove once buried in the flesh, causing appalling damage to the body. Yeah, sounds about right. How many of these do I have? 15. I don't know that I need 15 of them, but hey, you know, whatever. All right, let's continue up the rest of the way. Ooh, look at all those dudes, man. There's a nice big old statue. It's one of that like old guy holding a tablet. And there's a sanguine noble. He's facing that way, but maybe they're like communing in some way. Still interested in the symbol on that tablet, right? That like ring of sorts. Here's what we're gonna do. I've got Rot Breath, which I never use. I can totally use that to wipe out a bunch of these guys, right? Okay, that should do it. Now just play it safe for a second. Let a bunch of them rot down. Look at how they just shoot off darts of like cursed blood. What are you gonna do? The answer is nothing, bud. Oh, here comes the noble. Oh, I don't want to fight in that. Nah, you come over here. Oh no, what are you gonna do? Oh, look at that damage that burst with the blood loss too. He's also poisoned. We're gonna play it back and safe a little bit because we got those other dudes coming in at us. Yeah, no thanks. Oh no, the shield crashed. All right, he's dead. Now we got some of them to deal with. Doing their cartwheels, okay. Not anymore. Oh my god, look at that. Jeez. So much damage. Nah, stop it. They're so brutal. This whole zone is just brutal, dude. Don't mind me, fellows. I'm just walking up here to open a chest. No! I staggered them out with my own thorns in my body. Okay, what is in here? Somber Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone. That's actually kind of big for us because we could use that to upgrade our... oh, that one heavy rapier we got 2+10. Like, we could do that, which would be the strongest wood. So I'm using a poison flamberge right now because it's just kind of fun. 374 is its damage right now, but this is 481. It's a lot more, So what we're gonna do, because it's about that time. Also, if you're wondering why I'm not talking to Melina, I don't remember what she says, but I'm trying to tie it in with like another video where it actually makes sense. But at this point, it's that time. We've reached the end. So we're gonna climb on up. There's a big old elevator right here. I mean, look at all the just like old tablets and stuff from the old civilization, old dynasty. But we'll ride the elevator upwards. Look what's on there. It's like 2 beasts, right? So do you think, right? I mean, right now the Golden Lineage uses a beast iconography, but like they're not the first to do it, right? Oh, look at that, dude. It's so cool. Yeah, all right. We've also changed our physic because we got something way long ago when we defeated Eleonora, the purifying crystal tear. Mixed with a flask of wondrous physic concoction purifies a curse from Mohg, Lord of Blood's terrifying rite of blood. No help here either. Let's pop a rune arc. I don't know how this is gonna go. Probably not good. I don't ever fight this guy. I tend to have trouble. Look at how there's just multiple of that statue going along the side. So like generally it's been pretty singular, like it's been really important, but I don't know, like maybe there was could it be like an envoy of sorts for something greater, like some other lord, and then that's where they would have been, like up there at the front, and that would be like whatever, that cocoon, right? Because that's what it has to be. The cocoon was an arm sticking out. That's a consort, the divinity. It actually looks like a pelvis bone, right? And I mean, we see giants sitting in the chair crypts. Huh. But the whole place is like also on fire. And so a lot of his spells are not just blood, they're blood flame. So it matches. There he is. There's a ring on that finger too.
Dearest Mikola. You must abide alone a while. Welcome, honored guest, to the birthplace of our dynasty.
Here we go. Like how he rises up, basically like one of his, you know, one of the sanguine nobles, essentially, right? Man, I should have checked to make sure I couldn't upgrade my hawk anymore. And there he goes up. Notice how he always reaches his hand up to summon up these spells, right? Up into like a portal. Roll that. One. Oh, way too early on that one. Forget how delayed they are. Tres. Get a shield crash going. We're gonna need to move out of there though. Bird is already gone. Excellent. No big deal. We're doing okay damage. Ooh, yeah, his swipes are just too much to guard. Oh, my recovery is way too slow. Oh, and that thrust up did stuff. 2. Okay. Oh, nice. Get the Reduvia dagger critical. Okay, that'll work. Poke. Roll back from that. One more attack. Ah, see, and then get ready for the... Yeah. Okay, this is our... Oh, I didn't expect him to do a thing. Let's do full charge. Big charge attack. That's doing damage. Oh, you know what I didn't equip? Was the shackle. No, wait, I don't have time. Oh, I'm not going to win this one. I thought I could use the shackle. I meant to do that. All right. He sprouted wings, which fits with like aspects of the Crucible, which seems to be going with all of the Omen, right? Roll that again. Nice. Oh, that was unfortunate. I didn't expect him to do a big sweep that would get me. One more. We're getting a little high. Yeah, on the blood loss. We got 3 flasks left. Poke. 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 Alright. We'll be okay, maybe. Oh, I didn't think that would hit me. Oh, I should not have healed there. Fully charged. That's a little ballsy of me, but I did it. Dang. So Mikola is the divinity, one of the other unlocated demigods, right? And he's sisters with Millennia. Now, why would he be with this dude, right? Like, why? And since he's in a cocoon, it sort of like implies some sort of transformation that could happen. And what does blood have to do with it, though? Like, why would that do it? You know what we could try and do, too, is a rot breath and see if rot, like, whittles him down. Was not enough to actually do it. Try again. Now he's rotten. Nope, he's not. There's a good blood loss. Alright. Here we go, heal it up. Let's do a shield crash. We're gonna get some stacks of blood loss on him using this. Blue again. Hit him again. There we go. Oh, I couldn't recover in time. Oh, I messed it up. I couldn't dodge it. It wouldn't let me recover. Okay, this is gonna take some effort, isn't it? Okay. Come on. Yes.
As clear as day. The coming of our dynasty.
Mohg's Great Rune, Remembrance of the Blood Lord. Man, and you know what did it for me? The plus 18 Poison Flambeard. Who'da thunk it, dude? Who'da thunk it? It did it. I think that poison did some good work. I don't know. It worked out. Oh, that didn't take... I don't think that took quite as long as I was thinking it might. What an exciting fight. So, right. So he rolls in. He pops out of a puddle just like, you know, the Sanguine Nobles do, right? And the divinity he's slumbering beside is Miquella. Now, like, why is Miquella there? What connections do they have? Like, who knows, right? But, you know, he's using blood to slake the cocoon's thirst. But the hand that comes out, one, it's massive. But it looks like super withered and nasty, right? And then Mohg, right? He's an omen. We see that. Obviously, the shackle still kind of works on him and stuff. And, you know, he's got this cursed blood. But the flame, like, where's the flame part coming from, right? Because Morgott is an omen too, right? And the omens in the sewers, they do some weird stuff. But they do, like, this cursed flame, yellow and black, right? Even Morgott was doing kind of a similar thing. But his is blood flame. So why is his different? Where is it coming from? Is it because he is a demigod? Though I was also sort of under the impression that Morgott was also a demigod, because when you first talk to Gideon and he's talking about all the demigods and who you have to beat, he talks about where they reside. He's like, Morgott, the grace-given lord, resides in the capital of Lanedale, right? They're all like demigods of some kind, right? But maybe he's just kind of different. Maybe he just does different magic, right? But then he sprouts different things. So like where Morgott had, you know, horns and stuff sprouting from him, he also had a tail. Now, a lot of the other omens we've seen, they don't have these tails things. And Mohg didn't either. But he did sprout wings in his second phase. So maybe they, again, it's like tie-ins with the, you know, the Crucible. Because the wings and tails are specifically aspects of the Crucible. Because we have aspects of the Crucible spells that have a tail thing. We have the aspect of the Crucible, like talismans with wings on there, right? And that's what the Misbegotten have. Well, let's take a look at his thing. And also, I should note as well, you know, like we saw in the Mohg the Omen fight, his horn comes down and is like piercing his eye. And if we look at Morgott's, he had a spot above his eye that looked like it had been severed. So maybe he was going to meet the same fate, but he severed it because he wanted both of his eyes. So, Remembrance of the Blood Lord. Remembrance of Mohg, Lord of Blood. Wishing to raise Miquella to full godhood, Mohg wished to become his consort, taking the role of monarch. But no matter how much of his bloody bedchamber he tried to share, he received no response from the young Empyrean. So, Miquella is an Empyrean as well, which means he can craft like a new order, new god, right? Same thing was said about, Millennia? Same thing is said about like Mirani, right? And so as it is for Miquella. And Mohg wants him to be a god so that he can be his consort and take the role of monarch and be king. Because I guess this is the only avenue he could take, right? But he can't seem to make it happen, right? This place is covered in blood, and it doesn't seem to matter how much blood he gives him. He's not waking up. Blood isn't the key there, right? Like, why is it there? And then, like, so did Miquella ask him to do that or not? Now, look at the cocoon itself. One, again, massive size. It's like half split open though, which doesn't seem like it should be good. Like, it should be fully closed to allow the actual transformation to happen. But it's all these nasty, sticky webs to it. And it reminds me of sections with the giant ants where they have their like egg things and stuff, and they're all webbed up and hanging around and stuff. Like, that's what it looks like to me. So it's really disturbing. It's just kind of web-like, like almost more spider than, say, you know, butterfly or something to that nature. But let's go to the round table hold. There's a couple things we can do there. We can, you know, see what we can craft from his remembrance. We can talk to Gideon as well. Mohgwyn's Sacred Spear. Trident of Mohg, Lord of Blood. A sacred spear that will come to symbolize his dynasty. As well as serving as a weapon, it is an instrument of communion with an outer god who bestows power upon accursed blood. The Mother of Truth desires a wound. So you raise the sacred spear and pierce the body of the formless mother. Stab up to 3 times, creating explosions of blood with each thrust. It will coat the armament with blood flame for a while, so he uses it to commune with his outer god, who is called the Formless Mother. Right? Formless, we see that in the seals as well. It also feels a very Bloodborne, Eldritchy too, or like Formless Odin, or in the Chapel of Odin in Bloodborne, right? But they give the power to those with cursed blood, like Mohg, like Morgoth, or really the omens in general. And then by him spreading his blood to, say, like he was trying to do with the surgeons, like he's trying to do with the Albinarics, right? They started showing these signs of being afflicted with like the, with like the signs of like omen. But they weren't really able to tame it. They weren't able to get power from the Formless Mother, really, because a lot of the spells, when we do it, like when you see him doing it, right, there's a portal that opens up and he reaches up and then he thrusts out the burning blood. A lot of the spells that we do, we don't really do that. We just have it cast in our hand like we're channeling Mohg's power and then thrust it out. So we're just like going through a chain. And the Mother of Truth desires a wound. So she's a Mother of Truth as well. Now, I also, was it being like the Formless Mother, Mother of Truth, right? The cocoon being on like a pelvis where like you would assume birth would take place, it seems kind of fitting there, right? And then we've got Blood Boon, sacred incantation of Mohg, Lord of Blood. Thrust arm into the body of the Formless Mother, then scatter the blood flame to set the area ablaze. The Mother of Truth craves wounds. When Mohg stood before her deep underground, his accursed blood erupted with fire, and he was besotted with the defilement that he was born into. So he's trapped underground in the sewers. And how would he stand before her, right? She desires a wound. So, I mean, maybe he just got hurt somehow, or maybe that horn grew into his eye and was kind of symbolically, his eye being gone, he was able to see her, right? He was able to stand before her figuratively, right? And at that point, commune with her, and then his accursed blood that he was born with was able to channel the fire that she gifted him. And that's when he actually cared about it. So before then, he probably just hated what he had. The Lord of Blood's robe. Attire of Mohg, Lord of Blood, embroidered with an extravagant gold emblem on black cloth. The dress of a luminary, the reigning lord and hierarch of the coming dynasty of Mohgwyn, or perhaps of a raving lunatic. Alright, Gideon, what have you got to tell me?
What is it?
He sounds so freaking grouchy, and then he's like, oh, there's no reason we shouldn't work together. We both want to become Elden Lord. And then he's all like, you. He's just upset because we're having success, and he's not. Mohgwyn Palace.
Oh, so that's where the so-called Lord of Blood was hiding himself, eh? A fitting little squat for that deluded maniac to bleat about the revival of his precious dynasty, while he turns our fellow tarnished into bloody fingers. Let him stay there. That way, his delusions will remain as they are, distant and unattainable. But perhaps it's worth looking into. If what I've heard is right, then maybe. My apologies. Lost myself for a moment there. The information you shared is of great value. As promised, your reward. And it is a wondrous thing indeed. You are a true fellow. All I ask is that you remain constant.
Fevor's Cookbook 3. So I think we could have gone and talked to Gideon before we actually fought and defeated Mohg, right? We could have gotten there and then been like, hey, look at this place. And then he's like, yeah, just leave him there. He's not doing it. He's just a crazy dude stuck in a corner raving about how he's going to be awesome, right? Not unlike Dung Eater, who is essentially just trapped in a cell, unable to actually do anything until we showed up and let him out, right? So same thing here. And so he's like, yeah, just let him be. Let him bleed out his existence in this squat, whatever. He's like, but, unless... And so he knew something else. And I think it's about that cocoon. So Gideon maybe had some whispers in hearing about that, right? So what does he have to say about that?
I see. So Nicola was with the Lord of Blood after all. That is some fine intelligence indeed. With it, the final clue has been brought into the light. one of the last few pieces of the round table. I need to put everything together. As promised, allow me to impart to you the last of the secret rites known only to me.
Oh, law of causality, like the law of regression. Does he have anything else to say about the cocoon though? So
Well, I wonder what comes next. If he continues his slumber within the cocoon, all would be well.
right.
But perhaps it would be safer to destroy it. Nicola is the one thing that remains a mystery to me.
Huh. So unlocated demigods.
Four more
All right,
Nicola's twin.
we already know about them, so it's just millennia. All right, let's look at the things that he's given us. So the Feathers Cookbook 3 is a technique left by a man who is utterly captivated by Saint Trina. Now, I'm missing the Cookbook 1. This one teaches us how to make the Bewitching Branch, which has stuff to do with Mikola. What does it take to make it? A sacramental bud in Mikola's lily. Sacramental blood has useful blood that's like supposed to be like sacred, right? Sacramental blood. And then the Mikola's lily is a lily that was beloved by Mikola in his youth. So he used this combinations of things to craft this bewitching branch to compel affection. What does it have to do with Saint Trina and a guy who is searching for it? Who knows? Maybe we'll find out in DLC stuff. But the law of causality, right? We have the law of regression. It's one of the key fundamentals. Describe the golden order through the powers of regression and causality. Regression is a pool of meaning that all things yearn eternally to converge. This one manifests a small ring of causality within that allows casters to automatically retaliate upon receiving a certain number of blows. Now, the fundamentalists describe the golden order through the powers of regression and causality, right? As we just read there. Causality is the pull between meanings, that which links all things in a chain of relation. So something that, the pull between meanings, linking all things. This is how the pool of meanings and that all things yearn to eternally to converge. As it's kind of a lot of jumbo. Like in a lot of ways, it kind of doesn't make sense to me. Maybe if I really spent a lot of time to like dissect it and like translate it into a layman's terms. But the big thing I'm getting from it is like all things link to each other in a chain of relationships and, cause and effect. And then all things also eternally yearn to come back together and, converge. I think that kind of fits in with this idea, too, of the discus of light, right? You make a ring, like the Elden ring, throw it out there, and then what does it do? It returns, right? It returns back to the caster. It goes out, and it converges back. All things return, yearn to converge again. This one, however, does not. It goes out, and it stays out. But that is where we are going to call this one. Thank you guys for joining me. I think potentially on the next video, we're just going to be doing DLC, man. We now have access to it, so we'll be able to do it. Let me know what you think. So I can have it playing as like its own separate, like, all right, we're just playing the DLC and it's not really part of the lore playthrough. Or we could go ahead and just roll it right into the playthrough, right? Pros and cons with it. One, we keep the continuous narrative of like what we're doing right here. Con, if I'm playing it like I have been, where I don't have like the knowledge of like things I haven't done yet, we're keeping kind of the role of like discovering things as we go. As we find things in the DLC, it may be really weird and confusing because it has answers that lie in things we haven't done yet. Now, I could just go ahead and ignore everything we've been doing as far as like how we've been playing it. And I could just start mixing in all the things that I've learned playing the game, right? And be able to just make all kinds of random connections through things, right? I don't know which way you would prefer me to do it for the DLC, because a part of me like wants to do it like that, where I can immediately just start saying things out loud, where I'm like, okay, like because of this, because of what we know later on in the game, when we finish the game, when we do this, like that's what this means. It ties to this, right? I would kind of like to do that, but I like the idea of keeping the kind of like role play of it too. And I mean, one of the things, something I'm just totally expecting with the DLC, right? They're going to be, it's a whole new expansion, just like any of the other Dark Souls and stuff. There's going to be all kinds of new information, right? All kinds of new things to look at, experience, and learn. Now it's guaranteed to give us new information, not guaranteed to give us answers to questions that we have. And it's pretty much guaranteed to just give us more questions, right? That's just how they go, right? So that's pretty much what I'm expecting there. Let me know what you think, though. Thank you for joining me. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you, gave you stuff to think about, things, maybe perspectives you hadn't like looked at before. Not really sure. I just enjoy playing the game. This is an excuse for me to play the game and take my time and enjoy it. Thanks for watching, though. Always appreciate it. And until the next one, take care.